Test cricket's the hardest sport in the world. Doesn't matter how good you are, you can never fight in Test cricket.
Oh, nice, Gary! Oh, and he's got a wicket first ball. Yes, he's got a wicket first ball.
I genuinely believe that my best ball will get anyone out on any wicket.
Yeah,
The privilege and honour that you have to go out there and play and perform for Australia, it's pretty incredible.
300 for Nathan Lyon.
You're in control. He's playing on your game. I'm not playing on his game.
Nice, Gary!
350th Test match wicket.
Once you make a mistake, it's an opportunity to learn. The Test World Championship is my World Cup. Pressure is a privilege.
500 Test match wickets for Nathan Lyon.
You've got pressure. You're doing okay. Enjoy it.
Oh, nice, Gary!
What's it like playing in an Ashes series?
Unbelievable. The hype is getting bigger.
Why do you think that is?
I think we're getting close to winning over here.
Close. Not won it yet, though.
Retain two of it.
When you say you always want to play for Australia, wear the baggy green, where does the Ashes sit in the whole thing of that for an Australian cricketer?
No, it's a pinnacle. You always, as kids going back home, would toss the bat up and flats would be England, roofs or hills or whatever you want to call it would be Australia. And you always kick the ground if you lost the toss and you're England. Like that's like how we're bred. And then watching England come out to Australia and get absolutely dominated, it was pretty thrilling to watch as a kid.
2019 Ashes, what are your memories of that? Started well, for you particularly.
Yeah, no, it's pretty incredible. Pretty incredible Ashes series. And to be able to go back home with retaining the Ashes, when you come and play against some of England's best players to play the game, it's pretty special.
Well, that first one, sixfer, 350th wicket of Stokes. What are your memories of that in Birmingham?
What do you call Edgbaston? The hardest place to come play cricket?
Well, it's sort of like our Gabba.
Was. Yeah, pretty special. Pretty
It's
special.
quite an atmosphere there, isn't it?
Yeah, I love the Barmy Army. Love the Barmy Army. Struggle with the football hooligans. But I think the Barmy Army and what they bring to cricket is extremely special. You don't get it in many other sports around the world. But unbelievable atmosphere at Edgbaston. Incredible memories. We talk about nerves before, and I was extremely nervous that day.
Are you a nervous cricketer?
I'm nervous because I care. I care about the game, I care about my teammates, I care about results for the fans, and care about making my family proud and all that, so yeah.
That second test at Lords in that 2019, there was a ferocious passage of play with Jofra steaming in and bowling very quickly and obviously hitting Steve Smith horrifically. What was the atmosphere like in the dressing room when that passage of play was going on? Because, I mean, Test match cricket is intense, but I can't, that would have to be right up there as one of the most intense passages of play, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Well, it's never nice when you see...
Your mate felled, yeah.
Yeah, especially after being there when Phil got hit.
Yeah.
So that was a dark memory for a fair few of us, a lot of the New South Wales guys. And I'm sitting here with a smirk on my face, and the only reason I'm sitting here with that is because we had Steve Waugh with us, and he was our mentor on that Ashes series, and Josh and I were next to bat and in there, and my legs going up and down like no tomorrow, and seeing Smithy get up and come off, and Tugger just puts his arm around and he goes, "Well, you're just going to have to wear some." I'm like, "Tug, that's not what I want to hear." So, yeah, it was an intense period, but at the end of the day, we're playing international cricket. We're playing against the best players in the world. There are going to be moments where, and you just got to be able to find a way. And as I said, Test cricket is the hardest sport to ever play, in my opinion, because you cannot hide anywhere.
You mentioned Phil there. One of the Test matches when he was like the 13th man, you put in a serious performance. How proud are you that you were able to do that?
Yeah, obviously, everything, you never will like losing anyone. And when it's one of your good mates, one of your teammates, that was pretty hard to go through. And even now, it's still been 10 years, is it? I don't overly enjoy talking about it at all, but it's just one of those things, and just try and make him proud, I guess.
We won't enjoy talking about this one either, Leeds, that 2019.
No, I don't mind talking about this.
What are your memories of all of that? And that final day, really, as it's ticking down and the crowd are quiet and then they're bursting into life with every single run. What was that like out in the middle? I look
at that and I can probably sit here and honestly say we've probably been a part of probably the greatest Test match to be played. I think Stokesy played arguably the best innings I've ever seen. Should have the game got that deep? No. Did we miss out on some errors? Yes. But we talk about the fumble, and obviously the lengths guys have been reminding me about that every now and then. But I'm actually, in a weird way, proud of myself in a way. I was shattered. There's no point hiding about that. I was shattered that I fumbled the ball and made that mistake. But I had 3 seconds to pick myself up and understand I'd still had the opportunity to win this game. And I can sit here and say he was out LBW. Joel panicked and given a nod out. And then it comes back to us. We burnt a review literally over before in hoping. At the end of the day, disappointing, but yet again, another learning curve.
What was said afterwards? You remember what the atmosphere was like in the dressing room?
Oh, well, I was pretty gutted. I was pretty down and head in the towel type stuff. Not overly impressed with anything like that. This is Paney. Paney just said, right, guys, snap out of it. We lost one Test match, it's 1-1. We've got 2 to play. Win 1, we retain the Ashes. Win 2, we win the Ashes. Let's get on with it.
That resonated straight away?
No, not so much for me. Obviously being the centre of it, and obviously had a lot of attention on social media with people standing behind keyboards and all that stuff, which is all part of the game. But the next morning, it's probably the best thing JL did as a coach, if I'm being honest. He said, right, we're all going for a walk. Then we went downstairs and went to go out for a walk, but we went back up there and watched the last 15 overs of our bowling innings, which at the time I wasn't very impressed with it. I was mumbling a few words that probably shouldn't have been saying, but we were able to have a really honest conversation and gave us the opportunity to move on from it. And then we all went to Derby, had a really good week there. Then we come here and retain the Ashes.
What about other little grips that can make what happens at this end, the ball react differently? The slider is one, so what do you change for that?
I just changed my wrist position, so that's my stock. I'm simply just pushing the ball like that. Still got the palm, big focus for me, back of the hand is at me, and George should only have been seeing one side of the ball. Good training weapon for me. I always bowl with a red and white kookaburra ball, so I understand where my seam position is. I can see if I'm bowling really well at slider. But other balls, you can bowl cross seam. Pretty simple.
What does that do?
Don't know. It's either going to hit the seam and spin and bounce, or hit the leather and go straight on. This is the beauty about spin bowling. I've got no idea. It's a bit like bowling wobble seam. If anyone tells you they know which way it's going, it's absolutely like. But that's the thing. Like, it's just different variations, different things. So I feel like my cross seam will go straight on, and I have Steve Smith obviously first slip to me, and he will often just signal to me, go try cross seam, because he's got a feeling that the way they're playing with the blade, whether it's open, whether it's closed, that we may have a bit of success there. So I'm obviously thinking my cross seam's going to kick on and go quite quick off the wicket.
Can you show us a couple of cross-seamer deliveries and then a slider? I want you to tell me if you can spot it out the hand after he's bowled it, please, George. Thank you. So what's this one?
I'll go slider first up.
Slider, okay. Anything?
Flatter.
Flatter? What about the seam position?
You just saw the gold coming at you there.
So that's the kite mark?
He's learning.
He's learning. you are of use.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's this, another slider?
No, I'll go crossing.
Cross seam. Anything?
Scramble seam? Scramble seam. Looked a bit. Couldn't really see any goal.
What do you want, Wardy?
Do another one of those scramble seams. Wait. So that's probably quite a good example of that, because that's leapt.
Yeah, but in my head, I'm getting in court first slip.
But that's gone that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I can stand here and pump my chest out and go, beauty. I meant that.
What about going round the wicket to left-handers or over the left-handers? What are the challenges? Or do you like bowling at left-handers? Is it simple as I like it because it's going past the outside edge?
Yeah, well, yeah, I love bowling lefties. There's no point hiding behind that. A lot of the biggest thing is trying to get the guys on the crease, calling the crease, because I feel like my best ball, if it spins, it's going to take the edge and go the first slip. If it slides on, it's going to hit in the shin. Like I've had a bit of success against Moeen at home, hitting him in the pad. And that was, right, okay, just bowl your best ball there.
So that's bowling your best ball, but it's hitting the leather and not spinning. That's not like a cross seam or a slider.
No, there's been a couple of instances where it's been genuine sliders. I got top of my head Ben Stokes LBW at SCG, but I feel like there's a ball that I bowled Alistair Cook at the SCG, a square spinner that ragged and took the top off. And one of my favourite balls is bowling Ben Stokes at the Oval, perfect off break ball, and it's just bowled him, and it's just like perfect, happy days. So,
should the ball ever? I mean, I see some they cant it almost too much. Can you cant the ball too much if you're trying to spin it? Well,
ideally, I want my ball to go down like that.
Yeah.
On that angle, because I feel like that's going to drop.
Yeah.
But the question I'll ask you: how much do I need to spin the ball? Half a bat. That's all I'm trying to spin the ball. It'd be amazing if I could spin a ball like a gutting ball every ball, but I only want to spin the ball half a bat to take the inside-outside edge.
Can you think of a spell where you felt in complete control of what you were doing? What does that feel like?
Amazing. More recently it'd be indoor in India. Took 8 for 65 or something and spinning wicket, but it just felt like on top of the mark and like you get a wicket every ball type thing.
You want to be able to bottle that, don't you?
Oh yeah, that's a dream. That's a dream to do that every day, and understanding and that it doesn't happen like that all the time. As I said, I've had a lot more bad days than good days.
Being a sole spinner, pitch is turning, dressing room looks to you. Do you enjoy that pressure?
I do now. I didn't at the start, and probably off the back of Shane Warne's shadow. But yet again, my dad was sounding board, and I said to him, I forget what test match it was now, but he goes, I don't know what. He goes, wake up yourself. I don't know what you're worried about. You got at least 3 to 4 other bowlers. I said, what do you mean? He goes, cricket, you're always in partnership. It doesn't matter where you are. You're never alone. I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, you're bowling with Josh, or you're bowling with Mitch Johnson, or whoever it may be. They're not trying to take a wicket or build pressure or anything. If you do your job, build your pressure, we're not expecting you to take 10 wickets. If you do your job, take 2, 3, the odd 5 for here or there, we'll win games of cricket.
One bit of advice for a young aspiring spinner, what would you say to them? Is it about enjoyment, spin the ball hard?
I think you've got to embrace your challenge. Don't fear failing and try and spin it as hard as you can. Every time you fail, it's a chance to learn.
You touched on England's desire to save Test match cricket.
Incredible.
Fantastic.
I'm grateful for it.
Absolutely. We appreciate your gratitude. You haven't been that complimentary about Bazball, though, in some of your comments there, have you?
What?
Said it was a load of old...
Yeah. I'm 2-0 against Bazball.
The first time he came up against it, Ben and Brendan in charge, was at Birmingham again. that cauldron that is our Gabba, so to speak.
Yeah, a fierce place to play.
What a start, though. First ball,
Oh, yeah.
and then you guys got sweepers out. What's going on there?
If all they want to do is hit boundaries, why give them boundaries? So it's if the pure fact, if they're not going 6 runs and over, they're not playing baseball. So you can't do all this talk and not walk it, can you?
So this has been discussed before, going into the game, right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to just try and take the steam out of it a bit.
Yeah.
And did you agree with it straight away?
Yeah, why not? Why not? As a bowler, you end up in the same figures, but it's just a lot less overs. So you end up with 4 for 90 off 12 overs rather than 4 for 90 off 30 overs. Happy days. You're bowling a lot less.
Fairness, though, the noise after that first ball was quite something from the stands. Anyway, I just made it back up to the commentary box.
Yeah, the noise, the atmosphere was amazing. Even when Pat hit the winning runs, it was incredible.
Did you think him got the declaration wrong? Did you think that was brave, foolish?
That's Stokesy. That's the brand of cricket that they're playing. And to Ben's credit, mate, he's arguably one of the best players I've played against, and I've got nothing but respect for Stokesy. I'm not sure if there's much coming the other way, but I'm a big fan of the way he goes about it. If you were to ask me who the greatest all-rounders are, it's between him and Jacques Kallis.
Lords, 100th consecutive test. I mean, to start with, that was a remarkable achievement.
Yeah, that's something that I'm extremely proud about. If I'm being honest with you, I feel like to be the first bowler in the history of game to play 100 consecutive test matches, that's something that I will be proud about when time comes to hang the boots up. But I don't know, all this talk about being resilient in the media did me.
When it pinged, did you know I'm in serious trouble?
Yeah, I heard it.
You heard it.
I heard it go. I knew straight away. I was gutted, in tears. I'll kick and boodle. Never been injured before, ever. Then in such a big series, when it sounds arrogantly, but when you know that you can be the difference in the two teams, and I know this even more arrogant, but it's purely my opinion. I believe if I stayed fit, we would have won 4-0.
Did you really think you could make the difference in that series going into it?
Knew that. We saw it in the first game.
When you had to come out to bat, how was that decision made and approached? Because I believe your wife gave you a bit of a serve when you said you might be going out to bat.
For me, it was just, I was always batting. And I remember I said to Em the morning of day 4, I said, just so you know, I'm going to bat. And she politely said, I don't think so, you're an idiot type thing. Keep in mind that I couldn't even get into the shower. Had a little step about that big in the shower, and I literally couldn't get into it. And so I had her help me get in the shower, get changed, get dressed, the whole kit and caboodle, and then I'm saying I'm going to go out the bat. And I remember hopping around on my crutches, and Pat was getting physio on the table, and I said to Jonesy, I said, well, how do we want to go about this? Batting. And Pat just looked at me and he goes, you're an idiot, you're not batting. Get it out of your head. Then Jonesy kind of smirked and said, you're not batting as well. So I hobbled away and went straight to Andrew McDonald and said, right, I'm batting. He goes, good, I want you to bat. I'm like, sweet, can you go talk to the captain and the physio then? So then a couple of drugs, strap right up, and away we go.
Did you feel like you might be a bit of a sitting duck out there?
No, I actually felt like if they bowled short, that's the only shot I could play, because I could at least put my weight on my left foot. And if they bowled full, I wouldn't have been able to hit it past the stumps.
Yeah.
But
You managed a signal. Slightly comic.
Hopped, yeah. I thought it went for 6. But yeah, I understood how big 15 to 20 runs can be in an Ashes series or in any Test cricket, but more so in Ashes cricket. There's just something about it. So I was always going to go out and bat. There's a lot of people go to work in different jobs being quite uncomfortable and in discomfort or ill or whatnot, but they still show up. So I could still stand, I could still walk, kind of, but got to go do it. No choice.
We ended up winning that game. There was also the incident with Johnny Bairstow that got a few feathers
What
ruffled.
incident? What incident?
The
Morty?
incident where the long room erupted, there were boos ringing out around Lords. What was your view on all that?
Well, I loved it. It's out every day of the week. I had a really interesting interaction with a couple of the members. Had one guy, when I was holding up the lunch, have a really big crack at Steve, and obviously I wasn't the quickest going upstairs, so I had a conversation with him. He ended up coming and apologising for his actions, which amazing. But then I was out the back and I was actually talking to Jamie Cox, who was part of the MCC, and I had this lady in her mid-60s, English fan, come up in tears, and she just wanted to apologise for the way everyone was acting. And she said she was a member of the cricket for 40-odd years and that she was going home. And I literally had to give her a cuddle because she was in tears, and I said, don't go home, this is going to be a special test match. Go back and watch Ben Stokes do what he's doing. Like, put the result to the side. It's phenomenal what you're watching. And she goes, no, I can't. And she left.
Wow.
And so that, for me, I was just like, I know there's a lot of emotion in it, but it's out. Especially at Lords when MCC write the rules.
Quite. Well, it was a brilliant test series to watch. Is it your biggest frustration so far that you couldn't be a part of those final few games?
At the time, I was gutted. Flew home literally 2 days later. Got home and just watched the games at home. Really struggled mentally. Sitting at home, watching it, like just frustrated. But being able to reflect on it now, I feel like the injury, I would have much rather the injury happen in the last test when we were 4-0 or 3-0 up. But I feel like the injury happened at the right time and allowed me to really reignite a flame in my belly, because I was at home, I watched the Ashes and felt the devastation of the heartbreaking not being able to win the Ashes. I literally said to Emma, and I said, there's no way I'm ready to give this game up. I love this too much and I love that feeling too much. So really allowed me to go back, reflect on my career, where I've been able to get to, and understand that I'm going to rehab this calf injury like no one's ever rehabbed one before, and get back bigger and better. Well,
you did get back and you moved on to your 500th test match wicket. How proud are you of that? I mean, that is some achievement.
I don't like talking about it, to be honest.
It's just a shame it happened on review, didn't it? Because it sort of slowed that.
No, I don't care.
You don't care?
Nah, it is what it is, isn't it? Reviews are part of the game. But yeah, it's pretty amazing. Obviously my wife's family's from Perth, so I obviously have them all there in the crowd. My brother flew over for it. Mum and Dad weren't there, but it was pretty amazing to be there and have family in the crowd and be able to tick off something pretty special milestone.
How many more milestones can you tick off?
Sure.
Got that fire still?
Yeah, it's burning brighter than it ever has.